on the S drive inside asset management, maintenance, in Andy's folder, there's the Greg folder, and in there LSMW for the mass loading, and we're dealing with DMS, document management system. So the job aid on how to do the procedure manually is in DMS mass load, and this Word document has hyperlinks to each of the procedures. So the first step is, after you got the documents are loaded on SharePoint, that's the final versions, we're copying them from SharePoint onto the network. And so to do that, you control-click the link that'll take you to the SharePoint directory, and then you convert it to Explorer view. So you go library, and then click Open with Explorer. Then you can have Explorer view. You can show that folders, those folders, and then go into where we're putting them. That's the network drive. Here's the path. Again, control-click that, and it'll open another view into that folder, and you just copy the files into here. And when it asks you a pop-up to create new copies or merge, they merge, and it'll do that a couple times for the folders, and you can you don't have to copy on top of existing files if they're already in there. So all the files are in these folders, and the structure now that we could copy over are onto our network share. So once you've done that, updated the files, then you can run a DOS batch file. You're doing this manually, and the DOS batch file basically runs these different codes. It goes to the S drive, it goes into that folder, and then it makes a directory to a Excel spreadsheet, exports the directory file names only. This link will actually launch that file, so you can control-click that link, and oh yeah, I've renamed it, so I have to change the name in the link. So I will edit the link and just change the file name. I just took away the one because that doesn't need to be done anymore. It's all part of the automation now. So I'll do this step now, control-click, gives you OK, it runs the batch file, and it's done. It's copied all the files into file paths into that file in that folder. So then you can open that file. So this link, control-click to open the file, and you're going to get a dialog box to convert it to Excel because it's actually just text delimited data. So this link will open that text file. Now this pop-up might be behind the scenes. Sometimes it launches behind the scenes, and you have to go and find it and then click OK. Anyways, that would open the file, and then you copy the data from it. So this is the pop-up, so say yes to that, and it will then open that text file. OK, and it opens the file. Okay, you have to select all the files, Control-Shift down arrow, Control-C to copy, and bring them into the next step. So that next step is going into the processing file to process the path. And that step, again, I've automated, so you don't have to do that, and so on. So all these steps have been automated. If they weren't automated, you would have to manually copy them into the mass load file. You go into this mass load file, and you copy them into this file to get the dynamic path. You just paste those values, and then that converts this S drive path, the map drive path, into absolute path. Now, some of these files may have already been transferred over in the past. You don't want them all, so you need to filter out the ones that have been transferred. The ones that have been transferred or captured before are all listed on the captured file sheet. So if you want to filter only to see the NAs, so N/A, and you'll just see the ones that have not been captured already. And we only want this dynamic path. We don't want the old path. So we just go Shift Control down arrow, copy that, Control-C, and then put that onto the template. The template is the automation one that we're going to create the load sheet. So you just right-click, paste as values, and now that's the dynamic path as values. the username, all these fields are automated, all just populated based on what you put in the instruction sheet. And what's important is that file name and path is condensed to this short description because we have maximum of 40 characters. How's that condensed is the series of formulas. This one here strips away the file path. This one here summarizes the words, so you don't say running, it says run, and so on. This summarizes it some more. And if you need to, well, also it tells you the length, so the length of each of them. Make sure they'll show red if they're over 40. And this is if you want to swap the file name to be the asset first. That's what we're supposed to have as a file name in SAP. So it would say Cone Crusher and then the period. So all the Cone Crushers will just together, and the tech ID is usually in front. So that's basically you can review that and make sure everything's good. And you review your file names and make sure, that file name with the document name that it is built by formula, and make sure that's good. If there's any words that you need to remove or change, then on the instructions, you just have to insert a new row and say, if it says electrical, we want it to say elect. So these are all the ones that we've already automated. So there's a function in this file that takes this word, substitutes it with this word, and just goes through this list. So the instructions are on this main sheet, instruction sheet. If you want to mass change the template to load, you can say, okay, well, it's not me doing it, it's Andy Foster. You change that, and everything on the template has adjusted to his name. And also, if it's him loading, it's probably he's loading not fixed plant, but mobile. Now, what these things do, not just automating the template, but it's also, if you say mobile, it knows that mobile is the document code 251. Oh, and the document type is RFA because we're doing that's what they decided East Tennessee to use. HRI is for maintenance manuals. RFA we're using for tasks, task lists, job procedures. And we're doing mostly Word documents. So that defines all the fields on that template. And so the next one for mobile, the next number it'll get would be 5010. And that's the formula basically looks at your loaded history and it finds the next number for mobile. And that's it. So if I'm happy with my names and I'm happy with that, then I hit the export button, and that button will export the data into the appropriate sheets. And it will create a new file that'll be a copy of this load sheet file that is ready to submit into SAP. So that's the manual procedure. I'm going to show you now. Well, I can show you the automation for export because that's all filled in. I filled this in manually, going through that procedure. So I'll do the export automatically with the buttons. I hit export, and it takes all the data, puts it in the right sheets, and then exports it to a new file. This is a brand new file. And it says it's going to replace the old temp file with this new one. That's what I want. And it closes it, and takes me back to the template, and it cleans the template, ready for another load. So that's clean. The history is added of what I just loaded, what I've just put on that load sheet. For now, I'm just going to delete that because I don't want to I'm not actually loading that stuff yet. And the dynamic path thing needs to be unfiltered. Again, my macro does all that for you. So it basically runs a clear on the filter. And then also the macro deletes all the stuff that was processed. The captured stuff would be put in here automatically. Load sheet's clear, so everything's now clean again. And so that's the manual procedure, just so you understand those steps. But I've automated most of these steps, except the SharePoint transfer of the files over to the network. It's automated that step, which is a hyperlink if you want to do it manually. That step's automated, and this one I just automated today. That creates the file in the background and saves it. I don't want to automate saving this final file in case you want to clean it up or just look for any problems and not save those changes. Okay, so now I'm just going to give a quick demo of after you put the files in SharePoint, how you can do it all in 2 clicks. So you click the first button, and basically that has just done the running the batch file. So you hit, yeah, okay. And then it transfers the data files over. And then you just have to verify that everything is okay, that you're happy with the document name. If not, you can play with the data. If you want this to be the description, you have to change the reference of the formula temporarily to 8K instead of what it's pointing at. It's pointing at AI2, you go 8K2, and that would take on the swap files. The names were swap. So that's so I'm happy with that, and the file names are all 40 characters. So I'm ready to load this. I just go to my instruction sheet. Everything's good, and export. And again, that takes the data and creates a new file, and yes, to replace the old file. And that's it.